In his book, Faith That Makes You Think, Dr. Gerard Verschuuren answers the question, doesn't faith contradict thinking? Dr. Verschuuren joins us now from Atkinson, New Hampshire. Doctor, welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
I'm happy to be with you.
You know, we're here on Long Island, and we have the great Cold Spring Harbor laboratories here, and not too far away from our seminary. So as I was studying to be a priest, one of the things we did, we went over to the lab to, discuss the idea of faith and science interacting. You're a human geneticist, and yet you have a doctorate in philosophy. What would you say about what some would presume as a contradiction between science and faith?
Oh yeah, it's an old story, isn't it? For centuries even, since Galileo, probably that was the beginning. People said there is a conflict between science and religion. I must say, when I started to study science, I thought, yeah, that's probably true. That's how people begin. When you are in college or even in high school, you think, oh, that science is so strong, and faith doesn't seem to be strong. So is it a losing battle? I don't think so. And I can prove that that's not the case. That's why I wrote this book, to show people that faith is very reasonable. You can reason about faith in the same way almost as you can reason about science. Unfortunately, a lot of scientists have thrown faith away, and they don't know what they are missing, because they don't have an open mind to see what faith can do for us. So they have basically become atheists. So I spent a whole chapter in the book on atheism and why it is not true. I know for a lot of people that is hard to believe, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, so to continue on that point, you said you wrote this book specifically for Catholics who've been fallen away, Catholics who are lukewarm, people who are struggling, or as you just said, atheists. What is it about this that you think helps people to really, those who are searching for truth and these life-size questions, what is it that you feel in your book really helps them to take that step from lukewarm or no faith to having faith?
I think it counteracts what very popular atheists nowadays, who are scientists, like Dawkins and Hawking and that kind of people. If those names don't ring a bell, trust me, they have written books that are very popular, unfortunately. So we need books that counteract that. And that's what I'm trying to do in this book. I learned, studying science gradually, that there is more to life than science. And when scientists say, I am an expert in physics or in biology or whatever, they think they are experts in everything else, as if there is nothing else in life. What an arrogance, I would say. But still, that's what they claim. There is nothing else. And each time that science makes advances, religion has to withdraw. I don't think so. I always like to use a picture of sports. If you take the battlefield as it is in football, the more one party gains, the more the other loses. I think it's more like the tennis field. If you don't like tennis, sorry, bear with me. In the tennis field, every party has its own territory. So if you gain something, you gain it on your side of the net and not on the other side. And I think that is a better picture to see how science and faith interact. Science does not gain more and takes it away from faith. It just finds more details about its own territory. And that territory is the territory of science. But fortunately, there is another territory. There is a territory of faith or religion or whatever you want to call it. And that's what I try to explain in the book, Faith Makes You Think.
That's great. And one of the things that I caught my attention a little bit was this idea that with genetics, we would say that all of what we are is kind of what, we're all programmed for that from the beginning, and that might lead to a false sense of like where everything is predetermined. And you kind of bridge that gap, between that. So it's a great thing for us to think about. And, thank you, Doctor, so much for being with us today. This is deep thinking, but we appreciate it. And we can get your book, A Faith That Makes You Think, on Amazon.com. Thanks so much for being with us.
Deep thinking.